In section 1.3, we are going to begin talking about fractions. Fractions essentially represents fractions of numbers. We might write a fraction like this, 30 over 6, where we have a horizontal line with a number in the top and a number in the bottom. The number in the top we call the numerator, while the number in the bottom we call the denominator. So we have numerators and denominators. This line acts in the same way that the division symbol acts. So saying 30 over 6, 36 as a fraction, really is the same thing as saying 30 divided by 6, which, if we do the math here, 6 goes into 30 5 times. So this equals 5. 36 equals 5. The Egyptians actually started using fractions, the ancient Egyptians, and we have actual Egyptian manuscripts that survive to this day. This is the something called the Rhine papyrus, and on it you can see different angles and numbers. You can recognize the number system here from what we showed from above, where fractions are actually used. They use it in their calculations to be a little more exacting in their construction processes. Here are a couple basic ideas. We use it a little different than what the Egyptian used. We actually have 0 as a number. We can use whole numbers here. So we can have a situation where we have 0 in the numerator divided by a number. And anytime you have 0 in the numerator, the result is always equal to 0. So why, you might ask, is this? Well, think of it this way. If we, let's say we have hold on a second. Say we have 30 divided by 6, and we know that equals 5. Well, that's the same thing as saying that 6 times 5 equals 30. So down here, if we're saying 0 divided by 5 equals something, well, that's the same thing as saying 0 equals 5 times something. So obviously this has to be, in order, what times 5 equals 0, this has to be 0. Well, okay, that's cool. But how about this? What about 5 divided by 0? What does that equal? Well, if we use the same logic up here, we're saying that 5 equals 0 times something over here. And actually, there is nothing you can stick in here to make this work. So in other words, this does not exist. So in summary, anytime you have 0 in the numerator and a number in the denominator that equals 0, anytime you have some number in the numerator and you divide by 0, that does not exist.